Today we're going to be talking about Verbalkongruens, as we call it in Danish, and we've been having a look at the basics. You should all know by now that, for example, if you want to say I like homework, or we like homework, or you like homework, or they like homework, you don't put an S at the end of the verb. Whereas if you're talking about the third person singular, or in Danish, tredje person ental, you put an S at the end of the verb. So he likes homework, she likes homework. A spider, for example, it likes sitting in its web. There really are the basics, and you should have mastered those by now. So moving on, we're going to look at, for example, the word there in English. There. In English we say, for example, there are cars parked outside, or there is a car parked outside. So when do we say what? What you have to do is you have to ignore the word there. Cars are parked outside. That's completely normal. So when you use the word there, you just have to think, okay, if I was to delete the word there, what would I say? I would say cars are parked outside. And the same is true of is. If I delete the word there, you would say a car is parked outside. And so it's no different when you use the word there. There are cars parked outside, because cars obviously the plural. There is a car singular parked outside. Easy stuff. The same is true of the words a lot of. When do you say a lot of snow has fallen, and when do you say a lot of people have spoken to me? When is it has and when is it have, for example? What you have to do is once again delete the words a lot of. Snow has fallen. People have spoken to me. Those sentences are correct, and they're the same when we put the words a lot of in front of. A lot of snow has fallen. A lot of people have spoken to me. The same is true when we encounter the word who in what we call relative sentences. The man who likes cars is over there. The men who like cars are over there. When do we say what? Once again, if you try and omit the word who, it's a lot easier. The man likes cars. The men like cars. So when we put the word who in, it's no different, and it all makes sense. And the same is true with the word which. The plane which has just taken off is heading north. The planes which have just taken off are heading north. See what happens when we delete the word which. The plane has just taken off. The planes have just taken off. So it's no different when we put in the words which. What can be a bit difficult sometimes is what we call collectives. Collectives are groups of people that can be considered as a group or as a group containing different people. So for example, it's completely permissible to say the government is considering further tax cuts, or the government are considering further tax cuts. If you consider the government to be a group of different people, then you would say the government are considering. If you consider them to be one unit, the government is considering further tax cuts. The same is true of a class, for example, which is a group of people. You can say in English the class like having stories read to them, but you can also say the class likes having stories read to them. Collectives. Okay, and on to the final bit. This can be a bit tricky. Tea and biscuits taste nice. They taste nice. We're back to the first rule here. If you're thinking about more than one thing, then you don't put an S on the end of the word. However, the sentence tea with biscuits tastes nice is also correct. And why? What's the difference between with biscuits and biscuits? The difference here is, as you might remember from Almin's Sprogforståelse, with biscuits is actually an adverb. We can move it around. Tea tastes nice with biscuits. Here we can clearly see why it's S. Tea tastes nice. And the with biscuits, we can just put that at the end. We can also say with biscuits, comma, tea tastes nice. And that also makes sense. Because we can move this around, the with biscuits, it must be an adverb. And as an adverb, it's not part of the subject. So tea tastes nice, tea with biscuits tastes nice. But up here, tea and biscuits are part of the same subject. Tea and biscuits taste nice.